Hospital porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order, welcome to Panwo TV. Gather around, ladies and gentlemen, read all about it, hear my words. The drone monster has struck again. Yes, this time it is the biggest UK airport, as opposed to the second biggest. It's not Gatwick this time, it's Heathrow. Yes, just after 5 PM on Tuesday evening, it was announced that Heathrow was suspending all departure operations because drones were spotted. Drones were spotted around the airport. Yes, indeed, that's right, the police saw one. Yeah. Didn't I say this might happen? I'm not going to watch all those 4 Gatwick videos again. Look at the link in the description box, you can see them for yourself. I know you guys have got better memories of about what I upload than I do. So, but I think I said at some point, because of Birmingham, do you remember in Birmingham they had that big shutdown in Birmingham, and Birmingham were honest and they came out and they admitted why it was. They said it was a failure with the electronics and the air traffic control system. But I said at least they're being honest. Now, what's going to happen in Heathrow? Because this is obviously something that's affecting. It has a knock-on effect on airports away from, you know, all over the place, because you'll find that with the actual aviation network, the aviation travel network is pretty much a worldwide sort of grid. When something goes wrong in one area, it has a knock-on effect on other areas. So, and it seems like this has happened to Heathrow. But you know what they're doing? They're falling back on the old drone thing. Let me just tell you the details, and also there's a few other interesting tidbits which you might find intriguing, as I do. Alright, let's have a look at what's going on here then. Let's go to the Telegraph. Oh yes. I'll go start with the Telegraph like I do with my film reviews. Here we go. Heathrow Airport. Flights resume after suspension due to drone sighting. The army was called in as Heathrow suspended all departures on Tuesday due to reported drone sightings just weeks after the similar debacle caused chaos at Gatwick. The London airport halted all outbound flights at around 5 PM as a precautionary measure. This was on Tuesday this happened. To prevent any threat of operational safety. They were given the all-clear about an hour later, and the staff said they would continue to monitor the situation. The military was brought in after police officers reported seeing a drone at Heathrow. Oh my goodness, it goes on like this, and it's pretty much similar. Talks about the illegal operation of drones, things like that, and there's oh god, it covers it. Chris Grayling makes a statement. A spokesman from Heathrow Airport says something. We continue to monitor this situation and apologise to any passengers that were affected by the disruption. Well, luckily, it seems that the delay was pretty short. The actual suspension of flights was pretty short. It was just an hour or so, so it wasn't a problem. I've got a friend who works there and who I won't name, and he was talking a little bit about this. And it announced actually on Monday, the government has announced that police and airport staff will be given new powers to shoot down, catch and jam drones in a bid to prevent the repeat of the chaos that plagued Gatwick over the Christmas period. Oh, it's like they went all full military on this. They got the police, they got the army in, everything. The same thing that happened at Gatwick happened again, and of course, well, it's hard to know exactly what happened because we just got the report that the police saw the drone, the airport responded by shutting it down, etc., etc. It's the usual flannel, quite frankly, and we saw the same thing at the beginning of the Gatwick outbreak. There's no reason to believe anything's any different this time, and in fact, a lot more has happened, which I think you should find interesting. Now, this was something that happened to Nigel Farraj on his radio show on LBC, the ex-UKIP member, and it's very interesting here. A caller called into the show, and this was a chap who lives in Hounslow, someone called Sadish from Hounslow, who said something very strange. He said that he saw a UFO a couple of miles from Heathrow Airport as reports of drones halted flights on the runway that afternoon. The Hounslow was about 2 miles from the airport. He said, I saw a big white dot with 2 circles around another small circle in the middle. Definitely not very far away. He says, this morning I woke up at 7 AM for the school run and saw my friend. He was outside. He came in with his face all frightened. And I was like, what happened to him? I thought maybe he's not well. He said to me that he actually scared me. that actually scared me. And he said he'd seen a UFO, and I was like, you must be kidding this morning. So Nigel then says, a UFO? Christ! Sadish replies, yeah. And I'm like, you must be kidding, mate. And if you... It is sort of like a South London kind of drawl. I'm not going to do it. He said, if you don't believe me, come outside and have a look. I went out and he showed me the sky. Plain as day, I saw the dot in the sky, a big one, white in colour, and then he asked me to take a picture, and I say, no, can't be bothered. And then I stare at the star, thought it's probably a star, and went in. Later, he showed me pictures, and the thing zoomed right in and looked like a UFO, 2 circles around a small circle in the middle. And Farraj said dubiously, I mean, Sadish, I'm naturally a bit sceptical when I hear these things. I'm listening to you very carefully. How far away did it seem to be to you? Sadish replied, it wasn't very far. Like when you see stars, you know, it's definitely not as far as a star. I could see that, you know, definitely not very far. And of course, this was just the morning after chaos ensued, as the biggest airport in the UK shut at 5:05 p.m. Yeah. So, well, that's interesting, isn't it? So Nigel Farraj might prove to be useful after all. Now, of course, the important thing is to look for photographs. Now, this is a photograph that was taken, allegedly, this is from Twitter, at Intel Breaking News, Intel Breaking, hashtag happening now, police investigating possible drone activity at London's airport. And, excuse me, you can see something in the sky which sort of might resemble a bit what Sadish was talking about. I mean, there's no circles, but there are other sort of dots at the side. There's one structure inside another. Then again, that could be lens flare. It could be a helicopter. I mean, you see 2 beams coming off it. You see to the right, which could be some kind of searchlight from a helicopter. And it seems like there's a second structure underneath, much smaller. And again, you do see like a kind of circular structure with a circle inside. So I'm wondering if this might be the actual object that Sadish from Hounslow actually saw. Or then again, it might be just an effect of the photograph. We don't know. There's no real source for this photograph. It just comes from this Twitter handle here, at Intel Breaking. And it's called Intel Breaking News. So, there's not a lot more we can do at this moment. I think there's no other strange photographs. Of course, there's no photographs of the actual drone, unless this is it. And I see the tag at you see this was sent to me, and someone's added the commentary at the top. Drones are big these days, and you can see, yeah, it certainly looks like, based on the focus with what you see in the foreground, which looks like some sort of kind of buildings, which may or may not be buildings from Heathrow Airport. You can see that this is something either very bright, which is causing strange lens flare, or something quite large. Either way, it doesn't look like what you see as a standard hobbyist drone. So, interesting stuff there. And finally, how about this? How about this then? Slight update. It's slightly related to the Heathrow thing, but it's an update really on the Gatwick situation. Gatwick Airport, a majority stake sold to a French firm. A majority stake in Gatwick Airport is to be sold to a French operator, Vinci Airports, for 2.9 billion. Vinci Airport is part of the infrastructure group Vinci and is going to buy 50.1% of UK's second busiest airport, which is just enough to give them basically control over it. The other 49.99 will be managed by the current owners, Global Infrastructure Partners. The airport's closed, yeah, has run up to Christmas, etc., etc., etc. Blah, blah, blah. Resilient pledge. The deal would make Gatwick the second largest airport in Vinci's network, which will grow to 46 airports in 12 countries. Total traffic around 228 million passengers a year. It follows Vinci's takeover of Airports Worldwide portfolio earlier this year, which includes Belfast International and 12 stakes in 12 airports across the USA. Commenting on recent disruption at Gatwick, Nicholas Notabart, president of Vinci Airports, said, he has every confidence in the terms currently in place. We will, of course, work with the airport operational team and the existing shareholders to make Gatwick as resilient as it can be in the face of these new risks. Right, and Leo Thagot, BBC Business correspondent, says it says London's second airport is potentially a very lucrative asset, handling 45 million passengers a year, making hundreds of millions of pounds in profit. Well, they're going to make even more profit now, aren't they?
Vinci says it also offers significant potential for growth. Growth, that is, yeah. Sorry about the low accent there. And it has a master plan for the future. This is like quite something, isn't it? Now, it's interesting, hundreds of millions in profit. Now, this deal has just been closed, yet the hundreds of millions of profit could have sunk quite a bit if there hadn't been a drone around, which meant that the airport was essentially no longer liable to pay compensation or offer refunds to the passengers. There were 120,000 to 140,000 passengers trapped in the terminal buildings. That's the equivalent of the population of Banbury in Oxfordshire. Now, those, however much money, just you have to think about how much money we're talking about here. And I don't need to repeat the points I made in the Gatwick videos. You can see them for yourself. But look, just it's all coming together. It's a big jigsaw puzzle, and the pieces are fitting into place. It's obvious, isn't it, what's going on? And indeed, it looks like Heathrow might be trying to pull the same thing.
Well, so there you are. There you have it. Now, I don't know whether it was aliens, and I don't know whether it was like another computer breakdown. But either way, it's almost too predictable to be predictable. It's something that's just so obvious that surely they would have thought at some point, this is too obvious for us to do. We can't cry wolf like this again. Or we can't tell the same lie again, because people won't believe it. Because it is almost mainstream. After I made my Gatwick videos, the police came out and they said, look, the drone might be one of ours. It became virtually mainstream that the whole drone thing was nonsense. Surely the Heathrow management must have thought, someone up there must have thought, do you really think we can do this? Maybe we're not going to get away with it. Maybe we shouldn't do it. And it looks like they thought, well, come on, we are dealing with the British public here. They are as gullible as hell. They'll believe anything we tell them, so let's just go for it and see how well we get on. And the way the media are reporting it, of course, you know, it's just the same thing. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Yes, yes, indeed. It's drones again. We're telling you the truth. It's drones again. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I don't know. I mean, what's going to happen? What's the next one? Is Luton going to be hit next? Or Manchester? Or East Midlands or one of these other airports? And it's going to be drones again? How many times do they have to use that? How many times will it take before people just stop believing them? How many times do they have to use the drone story for people to stop believing them? I've got a horrible feeling. It's an infinite supply. So long as the media is compliant, and obviously these people have a lot of power. I mean, airport management structures have a lot of power because they can get the police in, they can get the military in, they can make the media do what they want, they can put a story out and the media will repeat it. These people with clout. These are people with political clout. And of course, Chris Grayling, the Transport Secretary, is also eating out their hands. So I think if you can do that, if you have the ability to make the media say what you want and make the authorities do what you want, I think you can just say anything. You can just say anything and people just accept it. It's an awful thing. It's an awful realisation, but it's true. I think that the job of YouTubers like me is to just cut across that and just say, no, don't believe them, to shout out, no, no, they're lying, please don't believe them. I think that's kind of my job, and this is why I do these videos. Anyway, I don't know if there's going to be an update now on this. It's actually, this thing happened on Tuesday. I couldn't make a video yesterday because I was away, so there's been nothing in the news since then. But obviously Vinci are obviously making a fortune off this, and so are the people who are selling it, and everyone's happy apart from the passengers who couldn't get home for Christmas, and for the couple who were made scapegoats and they were questioned for a day and a half. Is anyone going to be arrested this time over the Heathrow drones? I wonder. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, yours until the next point of interest, until the next drone attack comes. Where will the drone monster strike next? Thank you for watching Panwo TV. Hospital porters, pride and dignity, and an end to all drones. Stop the New World Order.